So this is a continuation of the Stalked series, video 2. Where does the money come from? You got people chasing me around, 3, 4, 5 people for 15 years, 20 years. I can calculate this back so many miles, so many years. It's got to be a lot of money on the table. Now, I made my brother rich. I gave him 10 grand. He spent that money, get rid of me, ran a business, probably a truck driving business. If he ran $250,000 in taxes on me by not paying taxes or whatever he did, how much money did he actually earn and accumulate? Plus, this guy told me he was buying land in Arizona. So somewhere in there, I booted the heck out of him money. He can't be found on the web. You go looking up his name, can't be found. William Joseph Sanders. Birthday January 18th, 1961. If you look at it, it makes out him an opportunist, self-indulgent, critical, and a sociopath. The basic negative of the numbers. He should be a humanitarian who's knowledgeable, spiritual, and wants to change things for people. But he's totally on the opposite side. It's the way he was raised. He was the what do you call it, the firstborn, the mama's child, the privileged. He had shoes with little silver points on them. I was an unwanted child. More than likely, the reason why is my mom cheated on my brother Bill's father, which was her husband at the time. When I was born, I come out looking different. I had different color hair. I looked different. Rumor is my mom's husband beat the heck out of her. She died 15 years later from a brain tumor the size of your fist in her head, is what I'm told. I was about 15 and a half then. I remember her dying in the room. After that, she was on her own, raising me and Bill, Jim and Jack, which are the older brothers, 15 years older. She worked at Archway Cookie Factory, worked 2 shifts. Tough woman, Italian. At 55, she was strong, built, and could work 2 shifts. Pretty amazing. Tried her best to take care of us, started putting money in bank accounts, bought a house, bought a Bonneville back in 75, 76. It was brand new. Funny thing is, the house was left quarter, 25% to my brother, 25% to me, 50% my stepdad had. My brother sold his half for $5,000. I only got $250 out of my half. But I was homeless, brain damaged, abused, uneducated, in a way I was doomed. I could work hard, and I learned a lot of trades. I did machinist, welding, forklift driver, carpenter, not very long, but I did a lot of welding, a lot of machining. And I truck drove for about 2 years. Maybe a year and a half. Somewhere in there. I made $1,200 take home, not take home, $10.99 a week, which I handed my brother when I was making good money. So with this then, is what we want to figure out is where does the money come from? Like I said, my brother Bill forged a whole bunch of 13 tickets in my name. I had to go and appear in court on all of them. I went to Pomona. I went to all these places I never was. This is the first time I got my license going, like when I was 18. And all of a sudden I had these tickets. Well, I was too stupid to know and figure it out that it was my brother, but I paid all the tickets. Okay, got my license, got going. Now, also, the forgery on the IRS, that much is certain, and that can be proven. Okay, now, here, where would you get the money? There's this thing called a secret life insurance policy. If me and my brother went down, I could fill out a policy, and I could put my brother's name. If I died, he gets the money. And I got to sign that policy. It's like a family life insurance policy. Now, I've never signed a life insurance policy. But now let's say, since my brother is a white-collar criminal, and he's done much more than this, he used to steal Datsun trucks. He'd steal a truck, he'd go junkyard, buy a frame, change the plates, go sell it to some sucker. I seen him steal one up in Sacramento. Gets a little piece of metal. This was back in like 70s. Piece of metal, 80, somewhere in there. Open the door, take his ignition out of his little Datsun, like a 78 Datsun 80, plug it in, drive away. Criminal. Okay, so he's highly good at forging stuff. So let's take the jump that he forged my name on a life insurance policy. He hired a hit team. Now, this would have been 25 years ago. I did a MBI report looking to see if I showed up. It only goes back 7 years. So I can't find if there's a life insurance policy. I mean, unless I called up every single insurance company in California and Arizona, which is about 60 or 70 total, and specifically look. I may or may not Kind of seems big to me. I'm not all that sharp. Best thing to do is get the documentation on me in case I get killed. At least there's some information leading back to who's doing it. Okay, so let's assume he filed it. A life insurance policy on me. $1 million life insurance policy. Heck, I gave him enough money. He got rich off me. And then he hires this hit team to follow me around and try to take me out. It isn't that they're just trying to kill me. They're also trying to ruin everything I got. If I got a car, they'll drive a shopping cart into it. That happened. If I'm hiding up in the hills, they'll have someone trying to kill me off up in the hills. If I go over here and sit in the park, there's the cops on me. Now, this is where they gave themselves up. By working with the police and working with the criminals, they're known. That's the key element. So there has to be a source of money. Or my brother's so rich that he made so much money off me that he's paying these guys monthly to follow me. That sounds impossible. You know how much money it costs? They followed me up to Washington, through all the way into Shasta. Where else? They followed me up in the Big Pine when I lived up there. We're talking over a year's period of time. Recently, when I went to Tempe, Arizona, they were out there. They were in Blythe. They were in Tempe. They came all the way back here to Yucca. Now, I'm living homeless, so I could pop in a field and go anywhere, and it's about the same amount to live. See, it doesn't really cost me any more when I travel around, except for the price to get to places, and that's usually pretty cheap because I meet a lot of people because I read personalities, and I do eschatology for fun. It's my hobby. So, but these people are a team. You've got a white truck. Sometimes you got 4, 5, 6 cars on me. Now, who's paying for all this? Now, I'm not saying everybody knows what they're doing. I got some old people in town that look like they're part of the citizen patrol that are involved in trying to follow me around. There are some citizen patrols following me around. The cops are even following me around when they're called in by these guys. But you see, these guys are going after me. Anywhere I go. Now, here's another thing they do. When I go to, like, Coyote Corners over here, I go over here to take a shower. This is right here in Joshua Tree. When I'm in there, that lady shows up with the guy, the white girl. They're different groups, but, you know, you can kind of tell they all kind of look the same. They come up and they talk to the girl who works there that gives out the showers. Now, I go into the shower. That lady shows up at the shower right here trying to turn the doorknob. I come out of the shower. There she is talking to me. And then she goes inside Coyote Corners and tells the lady something. And when I turn in the key, the lady grabs the key and looks at me like I'm doing something bad. So this is the way they kind of do it. It's the slander move. That's my brother's expertise. He goes in there and says, well, Tony's this and Tony's that, and blah, blah, blah. And then people don't like me, don't trust me, think I'm a liar. And then they won't tell me because he gets them to promise to say no. This is his strategy. This has been going on. He has these people doing the same strategy. Now, not that I'm worried. This kind of stuff goes on all the time. People are stealing stuff from people all the time, frauding people, trying to kill each other off, do bad by it. This is our society. But what I'm saying here, there is a track record of these people. Now, this video was to show that's the source of the money. More than likely, it's an insurance policy. Now, I want to list off the people who have talked to my brother Bill that I'm certain of. Kelly Bell. I call him Cryptic Kelly. When I was a truck driver working for J. Bell Trucking in Corona, which this trucking company is out. J. Bell obviously is dead. This was when I was 33 and I'm 59 now. Kelly was about 10 years older than me, so if he is alive, he's old. He's like, I'm 60, he's nearly 70, 72, if he is alive. He's got his wife, Frances. Now, Kelly Bell told me a whole bunch of stuff at the yard, but he'll never say anything, and here's the reason why. Kelly Bell and probably Bill stole a couple trucks worth of lumber way back then when they were truck drivers. Frances, Kelly's wife, knows about this. And Kelly's wife holds this over Kelly Bell's head. Kelly is owned by his wife because he did a criminal act. He owned his own trucking business. It's really stupid, but that's the way criminals are. So he's told me so. They can't say anything. But he's Bill's friend, too. The reason why, now, he sat down, he told me about a half hour worth of stuff. Bill hates you, and God's not allowing Bill to kill you. And when I came into the yard there looking for Bill, because he owed me 10 grand, Kelly says, you're fearless. When I left the yard, a hit team came after me in a low rider and tried to knock me off, headed back to where I was going. And I was living homeless by a church. Within a week of that place, I told a girl named Candy Malter, who was my high school girlfriend. You could find her on Facebook. I told her where I was staying in a field by this Mormon church, and sure enough, that night a truck drove up, and a hitman looked up over the wall looking for me, but I was hidden really good in a tent covered by tumbleweeds real low on the ground. I'm really stealth. I grew up with my brother trying to kill me and hurt me. I'm a survivalist, I think. I could feel the environment. Pay attention. Anything looks spooky, I move around. But anyway, so Candy Malter. So I want to list off the people. Kelly Bell from trucking. Probably dead. Okay, another one. Millie Lillybridge. That's Bill's old girlfriend. Clarence Dykes. These people won't talk to you. Now here's one. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, Teresa K. Warren. She's in Tennessee now. You could find her on Facebook. She knows my brother Bill. During our 20-year relationship, when I was raising this child that I thought was mine, more than likely my brother Bill's. Twice I thought it was my brother Bill's by looking, but my brother Bill was all over in the scene, on and off, but so she was lying to me more than likely. That's why my brother was able to track me up to Big Pine, up to Washington, back down to Shasta, and then back down to Riverside, and then when I went homeless, the hit team was on me. So she knows my brother Bill. Who else off the top? That's just a handful of people. I doubt any information can come from this, but the key thing is I'm just leaving as much information about everything that's available, because it's been at least 6 attempts over the last 20 years on my life. Last Christmas was the major one. They were all over me. Either the life insurance policy has a termination date, which hopefully is soon. These people know I'm in my phone, or they're still watching me where I'm at. I don't see anybody following me almost for a month and a half now. But you never know. They were following me a long time and I never knew. I'd see cars pop up, same cars. Didn't really bother me, but when the hits started getting really hard and really intense, then I looked at the pattern of the vehicles. So that's the simplicity of it. William Joseph Sanders has got a hit contract on me. He has hired the black man in the limo who wears a security outfit as his handler. He's got a white guy working for him with a blonde-haired girl, and they drive around in a utility truck. It's got one of those logos on the door, and got an antenna on the top, and these people followed me all over. When we went down to Blythe, I've been down to Blythe twice. I've been to Tempe, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and there they are. They show up, they show up. This is stalking, and it can be proven. So I'm going to lay this down. This is where the money came from.